Hello, my name is Andy, and this video is for Senior Seminar Psychology 2025. This is how to embrace college, tips and suggestions from your friendly college graduate dinosaur. I was in the studio the other day, and I was talking to some freshmen, and I realized at this moment that I have been in college for 5 years, and it doesn't seem like that long until I started talking to them about how interesting it was to start college during COVID, and they told me they weren't even thinking about college when COVID happened. And in that moment, I realized I'm not a freshman anymore. I'm getting a little up there. But I like to use dinosaurs because, yes, they're kind of old, but they're also fun and quirky. So we're going to go with that. Alright, so let's jump right into it. So first, let's talk about transitioning to college. And this is a little bit different for me because I came in as a commuter and I didn't live on campus. But I think it's still important to note that even when you don't stray too far from home, it can still be hard in a lot of similar ways and in a lot of different ways. The one thing that I personally found most difficult is I felt like I was living two lives because I was at home and I was at school and still expected to be a part of my family, but still have so many things going on at school. So I really struggled with trying to balance the two of these. I realized that this is not just a problem for commuters, but also for kids who move on campus in deciding how often should I go home, how often should I stay on campus. And it can be really hard to decide, especially if our family are having milestones back home and we love them so much. And the one piece of advice I would give here is, yes, go to those important milestones, but also don't go home every weekend. Be present where you are. You only get to go to college and have this experience once. So I would lean into this new atmosphere and new surroundings. And there's always a phone you can always call, but definitely lean into your college experience. One way to help do this is setting clear expectations for how much time you'll spend at home with your family and how much time at school. Maybe you can tell them you'll visit them a certain number of times a month or call them a certain number of times a week, a month. Just remembering that you love them and you're still part of their family, but you're also trying new things. My biggest pieces of advice for freshmen, and when I was alpha leader, I would tell them all the time. First, go to the events and clubs that interest you, especially when you first get there. And if you don't like it, you don't have to go back. But after you visit all these things and try these unfamiliar new experiences, find one or two that you really feel like you resonate with, and get involved. Get into their leadership, go to their club meetings, just plug in, because this is just a really good way to create community and feel grounded at campus. I went to a commuter student association on a whim, and I was just like, oh, I guess I'll try it. And the next year, I became president of that club, and then I interviewed for a job for the Office of Commuter Engagement, and I've been there for 3 years until I finished college. And it's just a really sweet community that I've built and I've got to be around, and so many people that I've got to meet. I'm not saying you have to be the president of any clubs, but I would definitely say plug in and get involved. It is really worth it, and I do not regret any minute of it. However, if you are an introvert like me, it can be a little bit hard to want to go to so many things. And the one piece of advice I would say is once you pick your one or two, show up. Even on some days, you may be like, I don't know if I want to today. Show up. Consistency is key, and be there. Be present. One piece of advice that I found actually from a Harvard University website is it's okay and it's encouraged to ask for help. Here at AU, there are so many resources that we have access to, like Thrive Counseling Center and the Center for Student Success and Career Development. Colleges know what the common struggles that we have, especially transitioning into school, are, and they've put certain things in place to help us. Don't just stand and think you're alone in these struggles, then you're homesick or you're struggling with school or study habits. They have considered these, and absolutely take those offers and take that home because it's there for you. Next, some little tips on academic success is read your syllabus. Like, seriously. I know a lot of times I just didn't read it. I was like, it's just a syllabus. But there is really important information there that you need to know sometimes, and you're not going to figure it out any other way. So be an adult and read your syllabus. The other advice I give to you, because I didn't do it super well until later, but stay organized and develop really strong time management skills. Just instilling that organization when it comes to homework and once you get it done really early will help you so much afterwards. So please, for me, do it. And the one thing that I wish that I did more is get to know your professors. This is something I've read on so many different articles, but they are truly amazing people that the university has hired, and I regret not getting to know them on a more personal level. This is something that I touched on before, but especially for just social reasons, show up, be intentional and consistent. Like I said, like choosing clubs that you're going to attend or choosing some friends you're going to hang out with. It because the problem you can run into is trying to hang out with every single person, and then you never really build strong relationships. And something I struggled with is walking to a room with a lot of social anxiety and thinking no one liked me. And the thing is, that's just not true. Everyone in the room does not hate you. Just spend time getting to know people and being with people, because that is the way you make friends. For spiritual success, I have two pieces of advice. I would say definitely start with the campus ministry. They're there for you, and it's really awesome to see a bunch of people your age who are also as invested as you are. But also find a local church to attend. It's super important. You don't want to just be completely in college life. Like, get into the real world, volunteer, and just be involved in a community. And the other piece of advice is college can get a little crazy. But if you make Jesus part of your everyday routine, he won't slip through the cracks. This is a suggestion because it might not work for everyone, but something that really helps me is I would actually schedule my Bible time in with my normal schedule. So I made sure that I was making time every day to sit down and breathe and just be with Jesus and learn. And then something else, just include him in your everyday life. Have a conversation with him while you're walking to class every day. There are so many ways that you can just invite Jesus to be with you during your day that may not look so structured, but it's still just great ways to spend time with him. My last piece of advice, in retrospect of 5 years at college with 2 majors, is don't be hard on yourself for switching directions. Ultimately, you want to learn about the thing you're passionate about and be okay with making mistakes. Drive curiosity, not perfection. Thank you so much for listening and watching this video from just a little old dinosaur. I hope that you have a great experience at college just like I did. And here's my reference page.